Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-bum, bum, bum, ba-da. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-bum, bum, bum, ba-da.
Well, it's another beautiful day. Super excited to keep working on the house. I feel like we're picking up some momentum. I feel like we got our mojo back. We were definitely burnt out on the house, man. It's funny how you don't even realize this until you kind of start resting. And I don't know, I can tell you that living basically on a construction site and every day having to look at this house and say, God, it's not done yet. In fact, listen, I feel like a lot of days we have this massive structure that's basically no good. It's basically just a job. And we are really pushing mentally to get to the next kind of stage or whatever. We want to get the roof on, get the windows and doors in, and get this thing dried in. And we're feeling it. We're feeling the energy coming back, even though it's hot or other things. I feel like the diversion with getting my pilot's license and things was good in a way. I don't think I was ready to work on the house, and I think now it's feeling really good. But I want to share something else with you guys that's kind of funny and exciting. So we got our first power bill. Would you believe this? That in the first period of usage, we used 36 kilowatts. In a way, that feels really good, because even though we connected to the grid, we did not disconnect our solar, and it's still doing its job every day. And with the brighter, sunnier days that we've had the last few weeks, guess what? We're getting a little bit more power. Does that mean we're running everything off of solar during the day? No. We actually have been using the grid power quite a bit. What we didn't realize, we're gonna do a video on this in the future, but we just wanted to share this kind of as an update, is how having just on-demand power would change our life. I know that sounds super cheesy because a lot of people have grid power and you guys don't even think about what you have. But we can't do that. We literally have to check, rickety check, constantly maintain where our system is. And if we don't have enough power, we don't have enough power. The only option was to run the generator. I'm really stoked, I guess, to say that we have not run a generator in a month. We ran all the gas out of our gas cans and we shut it down. And it has been a huge change for us because we haven't lost any sleep. We haven't had to deal with the noise. So the last few days have been excruciatingly hot. We've been hitting nearly 100 degrees on our property. And our usage, total usage now, from the time we started till now, is 176 kW. Last year during the summer, even though we were building the house and running the generator a little bit for power tools, and as fall kind of started coming around for lights and things like that, our power bill during the summer months was running us about $50, and that's if you just exclude all the costs of the solar and the maintenance and upkeep. That's basically just generator fuel and oil changes. We've been running the air conditioner most all day because Alyssa's been inside editing video, and then after coming in from the house to rest, we want to make sure that the RV is nice and cool. So if we've used 176 kilowatts at 8.2 cents a kilowatt, that means total usage on our entire meter is $14.43. During some of the downtime where we weren't working on the house, connecting to the grid was something that we had this subconscious hesitancy to do. We just, I don't know, like we felt like we were letting go of something, and we were. There's an ideology here, and we're all trying to figure it out. But in the several weeks where we were kind of doing downtime, we got a lot of stuff done that has been on our to-do list for a year or 2 years. And what we didn't realize is that a lot of it revolved around power. And we were hesitant to do these tasks because they're just annoying or problematic, because they often require the generator, or the generator doesn't like to do that. One example is vacuuming. We vacuumed everything we own because our vacuum is a high amp draw, and although we have a 3,000 watt generator, it doesn't like to run the vacuum because these generators are not marketed correctly. They're deceptive. The fact of the matter remains that generators like the one we have and vacuums don't combine well together. It's just not enjoyable. Let me just say that, okay? You can run a vacuum off of a generator. Try it sometime for 3 years. and you'll know exactly what we're talking about. Last summer, as we were getting started on the house build, you guys remember we were hitting record temperatures, 100 plus degrees every day in northern Idaho. I didn't even know it was possible. We're one of few people here who did not have utility power and a way to get relief from the heat. It has been amazing psychologically in your brain to know, like a couple of days ago, I was up in the man basket in the sun all day long. But you know in the back of your mind that when it's all over, you can go in the RV, turn the air conditioner on and get some relief. I had a pounding headache that day. That little bit keeps you moving. Funny thing about power though, in the 3 weeks that we've been using grid power, we have had five power outages. Fascinating. So in a weird way, it's almost been a blessing that we've learned to live off grid. So our battery bank and everything is still connected and functioning. Solar panels are doing their job. And it's kind of funny because we didn't really realize the power was out until we went to use something that's only connected to the grid. So here in the garage, we don't run the lights in the garage off of our solar or our battery bank because they draw quite a bit of current. We've been running those off a grid. So you go to the RV, flip everything on, everything works just like it always does, except for you go to the garage and it's not working. Turns out there's a power outage. Having grid power at night and not having to run the generator made me feel better about coming into the garage, flipping the lights on, and getting a bunch of small tasks done. For example, our work truck shed thing that we've been using for 3 years to store all of our tools is now spit shined and clean. It looks like a brand new truck. We got all the tools out of there. We got them completely organized. Our new tool tower has been doing a fantastic job keeping everything tidy. And what's weird is it's kind of a landslide of motivation. Once the truck is clean, that makes you feel good mentally. Once your tools are organized, you're more inclined to do jobs that you weren't going to do before because you couldn't find the tool. And even though Alyssa and I try to be fairly organized, just knowing exactly where the pliers and the screwdriver and everything are made us motivated to start knocking out tiny little tasks. And I think that is what has given us kind of this like boost to get back to work on the house. I guess one way to think of it is no one task has a lot of weight. It's kind of like if I just added 10 ounces of weight to your shoulders and then 10 more and 10 more. The first 10, not a big deal. After 20 pounds, you'd be like, oh, that's got some weight to it. 40 pounds, you'd be like, that's getting pretty heavy. And if we just keep adding 10-ounce weights, pretty soon, you're gonna weigh 100 extra pounds, and you're gonna have a hard time holding all that weight. And Alyssa and I are really good about keeping a to-do list, but eventually that to-do list starts to really get into your head. And because we often go in long stretches on the house, we neglect a lot of things. A lot of parts of life get pushed to the side. So it feels really good for us to get those off of our back, and we feel kind of light. And getting to do canning and berry picking and all this stuff, that's why we came on this journey, and I think all of that is contributing to this kind of boost in productivity. A test I need to do today to help me understand what products we have on hand for foam sealing is comparing this chunk of foam to a Dow product that was provided to us by the SIP manufacturer. This chunk of foam is actually this product. It's called Foam to Foam from a company called Windlock. We use this with our ICFs. It's a foam compatible polyurethane foam adhesive. We used it to glue the ICFs to the foundation, to the concrete, to keep them stable during the pour, etc. It's a good foam product, but what I'm concerned about, so we still have quite a bit of this left over, but I'm worried that it may not be the most ideal for air sealing our house. This product, which is from Dow, was provided to us by the SIP company as part of our purchase. And doing a little bit of research, this one seems to have more flexibility to it, which is really important for connecting structural pieces, because if the structure moves at all, you don't want the seal created by the foam to be broken, and of course, obviously, nullifying any benefits for air sealing. So I want to do a sample of this inner foam and compare it to the chunk of foam to foam that I created the other day and see the expansion rate, and also what this kind of acts like once it's cured. I know that we've got a huge foam job ahead of us. As soon as we get these fascias or SIP splines, whatever you want to call them, done, the next couple of steps will involve basically buttoning down the SIP panels and getting them foamed in so that we can start working on the cold roof substrate. We do have a product available from DAP that's called a DAP 812. It's very similar to the Dow product too, but it comes in a much larger can, and it seems like it's, for what it's worth, it's more affordable. I think you get about twice as much product for the same price, and it has the same properties. In fact, a lot of people have recommended it for window and door sealing because it remains flexible after application. Breakfast is ready.
Wow, thank you so much.
How's editing going?
It's going well.
All right.
I'm excited to get a video done so I can come out and help you.
Yay.
But will keep me company.
Yeah. Hey guys, if you guys appreciate the videos, thank this one. She's in here working away while I'm out playing house. I know you guys were thinking, oh, they're probably cooking in the garage because it's really hot in the RV and they want to keep it cool, so they're going to cook in the garage. This is why we cooked in the garage. Bugaboo doesn't mind gradals, backhoes, and cranes, but he does not like the sound of sizzling sausage. Am I right, Bugaboo? Oh, a little pet for the road. A little pet for the road. Oh, that's the one. Okay, keep mom company. Okay, good night. Okay, good night. You guys remember when we were building the scaffolding for the ICFs? And we had all the bracing and stuff down there, but it was blisteringly hot. Do you guys remember how we were constantly hitting our heads on the bracing because of our hats? Well, it's a beautiful sunny day, and I just bashed my head right there. Why? Because sunny day plus hat equals can't really see this. Perfect height. I'm looking in the door and I just bashed my head really hard on that. And that made me drop the camera which I was carrying. So now it's all jacked up. Just broke this microphone. Just snapped this off of its mount. So last year we ended up just not wearing our hats because after about the 5th time you smack your face on a piece of lumber, you just say, you know what, I'll take the sunburn.
Yeah.
It's way safer to get sunburned for a day or 2 or 3 than to have pounding headaches. I figured I'd do this test in the garage, so we'll let that go. Probably check on it later this evening. I think both of them take about 24 hours to full cure, and I think both of them are fairly quick to get a skin to where you could trim the foam if you needed to. So this stuff's been sitting here for maybe 20 minutes or so, and it definitely looks like the dowel expanded quite a bit more. They don't feel that different at this stage. I guess we'll let that maybe cure overnight. One of the challenges we've had with this whole building process is the difference between what our engineer specifies and then what we're able to acquire. When it comes to these foam sealants, I know we're going to be able to use something that's a good quality product. I'm not too worried about that, but we have such an abundant supply of this inner foam, and it's a high quality product. We know that from Dow. But I'm curious because we've got this huge gap to fill. It's about 3 inches wide or so at the peak of the roof, and it's 44 feet long, and I think it's about 15 inches tall. If we calculate the volume of that, I think it's going to turn out to be a lot of foam. We did talk to a local contractor, just in passing, who we trust, and he said his experience with 2-part foam products is that if the mixture gets off a little bit, you either end up with crunchy foam or sticky foam, not perfect foam. So his recommendation was that even though it's probably going to cost more, stick with a 1-part product if you can find one that makes sense. It's just a little bit more foolproof. My head has stopped pounding, took a little bit of a breather, and I think it's time to head up in the man basket and try to get this end of the roof finished. Another nest! Dear sweet bumpkin pants, I am ready to go up again. Oh, she didn't even respond. She just started to show up. Now I know you respond to Dear Sweet Bumpkin Pants.
I didn't hear you at all. I just heard talking ready to go up. The volume's really quiet. You can just turn it all the way.
Okay, ready to go up.
Sounds good.
See you soon! Do you guys see all that shade over there? Yeah, that's where I'm going to be working next. Did you just say you're gonna leave me up here so I can think about what I've done? I think I'm ready to move to the west side, so I'll get the forklift repositioned and then I'll have you start hoisting me up again. Okay. Holy cow. I thought I just dumped that nest out of this glass jar. It's been, what, 4 days or something? And I saw one wasp in the nest and I thought, oh, there's probably only a couple still in there. Oh my gosh. There's probably 30 plus wasps over there. It looks like, oh, their nest is on the ground. Wow, they were living in this glass jar, guys. I thought for sure they'd abandoned that nest. Woo-wee. Glad I got out of there. Guys, Alyssa came out and saved our bacon.
As in poop the party.
Yeah, so what we're looking for as we go along is any lags or screws that we missed kind of during the panel prep phase. And we didn't get any screws along here, which is obviously connecting this wall to the other wall, but then this is the post. This is the timber frame post. And it did seem a little odd that we just forgot to put lags all the way across the top where the floor joist is, which is, I don't know, somewhere's about here. We have lags at the tippy top. This is the top plate, and we just put those in with no washers so that they don't stick out. The washers don't stick out. But I went to put these lag screws in and something jarred in Alyssa's memory. And she's like, hey, wait a second. What if we try to put sheetrock back there? Won't that suck? So what she remembered was a conversation about leaving the lags that go into this floor joist out so that we can slide the sheetrock behind continuous without having to put a second piece of sheetrock above the floor joist and one below. Good memory.
Look at me contributing to the family today.
Wow, yeah, that would have sucked. I guess it wouldn't have been bad.
I find one thing you're doing wrong and run back in.
Yeah, right? The bad news, guys, is that we put them all in on the west
The
side,
good news is we still have the forklift here.
and we have to go back to the west side to start working on the roof. Thanks for saving me a bunch of work today.
Yeah.
But we've got to pull them out over them. We have to make sure that they're clear of the skin. That way when we slide the sheetrock behind there, it actually goes in. It's not an issue on the front, the north and the south side, because this is a tie beam, and we'll only have one piece of sheetrock below and probably numerous pieces of sheetrock above because it's so high. It's 20 feet to the peak. Cool. Well, that got me out of a little bit of work.
And added a little.
Yeah, added a little bit. Okay, back to the basket I go to work on something else.
So today is not Huckleberry Day, but I do want to know how many we got so I can start thinking about what we're gonna make and what we need to get at the store, when to make it, etc. My goodness, these smell so incredible. 1, 2, 3, 7, 12. Remember that, guys. 12.
Thank you.
Almost 2 gallons. That's like actually what we thought. And there's 16 cups in there for a full gallon and 13 cups or 14 cups. I kind of lost track, but that gives us a really good idea of how to use these. So just to give you an example, 1 gallon of mead takes, I think, 8 cups of fruit. So this gallon of huckleberries will make 2 gallons of huckleberry mead, which is what we did 2 summers ago. I also know that'll make a lot of huckleberry jam. Jesse's talking about getting even more huckleberries, but I think this is pretty realistic of what we can get in a day. So if we pick huckleberries only 3 afternoons, imagine how many huckleberries we can get. I saw on Facebook this morning, people are selling huckleberries for $30 to $40 a gallon. 2 hours of your time and making 80 bucks in fruit. There's certainly worse ways you can spend your time, I'll say that.
All right, boom it. Down.
That's it for the night, guys. It's been quite the day. I'm really appreciative for Jesse's willingness to push through on this project. I really wish I could help more. I know being ground support does help, but Jesse really knows what he's doing and he's working with very heavy pieces of lumber. I know today was especially hard for him for multiple reasons, and he pushed through, and guess what? The project is done. I'm pretty sure Jesse went straight for the RV and is taking a shower and probably eating some dinner. It's well past 9 o'clock and he's been hungry for many hours. Yes, I offered to cook for him, but he's the kind of guy that doesn't like to eat until the job is done. I'm sure there are many of you out there that are just like that.